graphs we call V, they have a very sharp point, and these are called U-shaped. Let me get back at it. So you plug in X to find Y. And these are your points. -2, 4, -1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 4. That's a U-shaped graph. So this whole chapter, all of chapter 4, is focused on U-shaped graphs, not straight lines. Smart?
Every time when x is squared, it's going to be a U?
Every time x is squared, they're going to be U. If that's the highest exponent. So you guys go ahead and label this the parent quadratic function. This is the most basic one there is. There's no numbers, right? It's just y and x squared. You put more numbers into that equation and it gets more complicated. So this is the parent function. We talked about parent functions, the V-shaped graphs, and we moved them left, right, the horizontal and vertical translations. We're going to do that too, but today we're going to kind of graph in a kind of a complicated way. There's a lot of steps involved. All right, so I'm going to give you another one to graph, and I'm going to set you up a little bit for failure on it. I'm going to have you do this same table, and I want you to see why this table would be ineffective for graphing other quadratics. So let's try that same table with negative x squared. All right, so this is a full quadratic equation. Negative x squared plus 4x minus 5. We're going to make a table and see if we'll end up with a nice U shape. We're not going to. And we'll talk about why the table doesn't work. So we'll plug -2, -1, 0, 1, 2 in. This plugging in takes work. There's mistakes that you need to make yourself to figure it out. The biggest thing here is that exponents come before multiplication. So when I put -2 in here and here, it's important that I do the exponent before I even think about this -1 on the outside. So if I'm showing my work, I would say this is -4. -2 times -2 is a positive 4, and then negative on the outside. Keep going, do your subtraction. So that's going to be -4 minus 8 minus 5. Full permission to use a calculator. -12 minus 5, -17. This is our first order pair. I'll give you a minute to try -1 on your own. See if you can get the right number out. first plug this in, they're gonna get the wrong number out. You gotta see what you're doing wrong. Make your mistake right now so you don't have to do it again later. Is our next ordered pair? Anybody get negative 10? Good, yeah, good. 0 will be the easiest one. Yes. As given in the equation. Good question. The problem has a negative in the front.
Problem is the negative in front. Why didn't we do that for the first one? Why wouldn't it be negative times -2 in parentheses?
The exponent comes first. So
Yeah, I know, but
negative 2 squared is 4.
yeah, but isn't the negative already there? So it would just be that times -2 squared. Because then we're taking away one minus sign.
You can't take away that minus sign with exponents so wrong.
Like over here. So like negative sign, with the x, and the negative sign with the x, and how is that right?
From the word. Takes a long time to get it. Okay, good on my ordered pairs. When you do, go ahead and plot your points and make your graph. And question, does it make a U shape? It has to make a U shape if x is squared. We're going to try to answer this question. In a fashion? In a fashion? Creating a U shape. I'll think more about that word in a second. Why is the table not good at making a U shape for this particular equation? And how could we make a better table? Let's see if you can answer that before I tell you. Oh man, I have to go all the way down to 17 for this graph. how they look on the graph. Does anybody have any great ideas about why we're not seeing a full U shape? The table isn't symmetrical. Yeah, the points aren't coming out symmetrical. Here, these y values, actually the y's are the same and the x's are opposite. So we're not seeing the other side. Help us see the other side in the graph. More points. So we need to make a bigger table, but that's frustrating. I want to make the most effective table. I want to graph any parabola in just 5 points. So what's helpful is knowing where the middle is. If you know where the middle of the parabola is, you're going to make the most efficient table. So let's make this note. The problem with our table is it didn't show even the middle of the parabola, and it didn't show it coming down. So we must know the location of the middle of the parabola in order to really graph a nice U-shape. There's a formula for it. There's a formula that'll tell you the middle. Does anybody know what the middle's called? The middle of a U-shaped graph? We'll just go with middle for now. Oh, the maximum or minimum are part of the vertex. That's good. The vocabulary is coming back. So this is the formula for the middle of any parabola. It's x equals negative b over 2a. So this is a quadratic. The model for a standard form quadratic is ax squared plus bx plus c. A is the leading coefficient, the number in front of x squared, and b is the middle coefficient, the number in front of x. So if you begin your problem finding the middle using this formula, negative b over 2 times a, then your table is going to be set up correctly. So step 1 in getting a great graph is knowing where the middle is. So you're going to want to memorize this and use it when you're graphing your quadratics. Any questions? Okay, so now I'm going to give you a whole handout that outlines the steps to make it a really nice U-shaped graph. This is the formula given this problem. So like this is a problem here, right? In this problem, a is negative 1 and b is 4. So this is ax squared plus bx plus c. Your formula is negative b over 2a. So this number over this number. Let's look at the handout. We're going to get a little more clear. Rules by the end of class starting to understand it. Long story short, you have to know where the middle of the parabola is to be able to create a good graph so you can see both sides. If you don't get the middle right, you won't get a U shape. What was the middle called in our absolute value graph? What was the middle called? Anybody remember? Vertex. U shape also has a vertex. The middle's called the vertex. Did everybody get a handout? Okay, so this is everything I just told you in a more formal way. So this handout is what you'll refer to every time you have to graph a quadratic in standard form. Again, this is what a quadratic looks like. we call the number in front A, we call the number in the middle B, we call the number at the end C. So the middle of the graph, what I just told you about, is found by doing negative b over 2a. This is called the axis of symmetry. So instead of calling it the middle from now on, we'll call it the axis of symmetry. And you guys know symmetry means like where it folds over, and the word axis is a full line, like an axle in a car. But where have you heard axis before? Earth. The Earth is tilted on its axis. The Earth rotates around its axis. So U-shapes have an axis too, and that's the full line that cuts it in half. The vertex is the middle point, and the last value is the y-intercept. Just like in y equals mx plus b, the last number is the y-intercept. So you have a lot to do when you graph. You need to find the y-intercept. You need to find the axis of symmetry. You need to do the vertex and domain and range. So it's one question, but it has a lot of different parts to it. It takes a while. Let's start number 1. I'm actually going to cross this out for you guys. Has anybody already done it? Cross it out for you. It says to find the y-intercept by plugging in 0, but this number right here is the y-intercept. The y-intercept is 0, 3. So you don't have to plug in 0. It's just that last number. I can show you plugging in 0. Yeah, it's just always going to be that last number. So I'm crossing this out because I don't want you to do this work. These problems are long enough. Just know that that's the y-intercept. Next, find the axis of symmetry. We'll have to do negative b over 2a, so it's helpful to identify what a, b, and c are. So a will be the number in front. Looks like a is 1. B is in the middle. B is 2. And C is the last number, 3. Last year, I did this problem and then I gave them homework, and for their A was 1 and B was 2 and C was 3. Like, buckets of people thought that. This is just for this problem. It just happens to go 1, 2, 3. But these numbers change for every equation. Buckets of people. Okay, let's do it. So it's x is negative b over 2a. This is going to give us the middle of our graph so that we set up right. You can finish it. Go ahead. Find the middle of the graph. Everybody good with negative 1? We're going to show this. We're going to draw a dashed line here. We're going to draw a dashed line where negative 1 is. And that's really going to get us like just mentally ready to get this U-shape in the right place. This is going to be the center. So I need some points here, and I need some points here. Questions so far? All right, next is the vertex. So we did the intercept. We did negative b over 2a. And now we want to know the exact center. So this is the line center, but where is the point center? To find the point center, you take this x value and you plug it into the equation. This says plus and I should say plus. So we just found x equals -1. We're going to take that, we're going to take x out and put -1 in. So just like we did the table here in Bower, this is kind of complicated and long table, we're doing that again. Take the x out of the given equation and put -1 in. I'll give you a minute, see if you can get the right number. It takes some practice getting your negatives right. You know what helps? You can use a calculator. And the calculators in the back do it really well. Do a parenthesis, a negative sign, a 1, a parenthesis, square it. Plus sign. Put this whole thing in your calculator, not the y. If you put this all in there and hit enter, your number will come out right. I'll take it. I'll take it. I want to know, what I'm testing you on is, can you remember these steps and create a graph? I'm going to allow you to use a calculator here. Some of you guys, need that more than others. So you know yourself. So this will be +1 minus 2, -1 plus 3, 2. So our center point is 1, 2. That center point is called the vertex. Let's plot it. There it is. Did you get 2 out, Mark? -1? Who else has got a question? All right, we're on the last step, the table. Lastly, we'll do the table. And we're not going to just do any old table. Any old table will not work. You have to set your table up with this vertex in the middle. This has to become the middle of your table. So we need some points on this side of the dashed line and some points on this side. So for our table, we do 2 points to the left and 2 points to the right of the center. Let me write that. Two points to the left and 2 points to the right. So to the left would be -2, -3, and to the right would be 0, 1. And now you just got to get to work plugging in. So we're plugging into the original equation. So this would be -3 squared plus 2 times -3 plus 3. Let's split this up a little bit. Aubrey, Aiden, your groups do -3. Plug it in, try to get the right number out, talk about it. Stray, Ava, you guys do -2. Your group. Plug it in, try to get the number out. Everybody here, you guys plug 1 into the equation and try to get the number out. I'm going to do 0. It's already done. You guys also do -2. Just plug -2 in and see if you get the right value out. Compare your answers. So you're plugging them in here. Plug -2 here and here. Or -3 or 1, whatever I said. Plug in 2 places. Yeah. Once you get a piece of paper and plug -2 in and see what you get out. Plug -2 into this equation. Here and here. See if you can get the right number out. Zero, we already know it's the y-intercept 3. I'll do 1 next. 1 squared, 2 times 1 plus 3. I get a 6 out. Aubrey, did you guys get 6? Yeah? Okay. All right. And for 1, did you guys get 6? Same value. Okay. So we're just waiting on the negative 2's.
So we got 3.
You got positive 3?
Yeah.
Okay, that looks good. Copy down the numbers that you didn't get to. And this is what Ava was saying, that we now see our y values repeated. This means that we have symmetry. This means we have a U shape. It should be the same numbers here and here if you've set your table up correctly. If there's fractions in the problem, sometimes this doesn't come out perfect. Symmetrical. A tiny little graph. Don't make it sharp. I don't want to see a sharp vertex. Should be U-shaped, curved at the bottom. Anybody have a question about why their number didn't come out correct? I'm going to do my domain and range right here. X is all real numbers for all of these. And the range Y is, where is the range here? The Y value.
Then it'd be like 3 to 3.
Well, it doesn't go below here,
Oh.
right?
2?
Yeah, it's everything above 2. So the range is Y is greater than 2. It's always the same as the Y value of the vertex. All right, let's try the next one, number 3. Try to run through these steps on your own. I'm gonna do it too. Your only goal is to finish this worksheet. That's what I meant. Number 2. I meant number 2. Yeah, whatever's not done is homework. But I'm gonna do number 2 with you right now. I'm gonna do it. Yeah, that's it. Only that's Alright, let's see what we can come up with. Isabel, what are we gonna identify first? Y-intercept. That's the easiest point. It's kind of, in the same place as it was on the linear equation. Alex R., what's our next move? After Y-intercept.
Take out A, B, and C and find the vertex.
Yeah, let's do our formula for axis of symmetry, negative b over 2x. Grace, do you think that you can identify A, B, and C?
A is negative 3 is negative 5.
You got it. So So if you line up the model right above it, it's kind of helpful. I can see here that A is -3, it's in the same spot. B is -12, and C is -8. Then what are you going to get? It's your axis of symmetry. Negative B over 2A. It's a formula. You know what A, B, and C are? You look right here. It shows A is the number in front of x squared. So A is -3. B is the number in the middle. C is -12. So I'll do -12 over 2 times -30. That's kind of tricky. Too many negative signs. It takes practice. You don't just wake up knowing and getting there. Right, you have to practice it. Alex, you did it? What'd you get for axis of symmetry in the middle?
So I have to put down my calculator.
No, you can do it. What's -12? Become a +12. 2 times -3.
Oh, that's -2.
Yeah, that's a -2. What should I do with this -2 on the graph?
Would you make a dash line?
Dash line. There's our middle. If you don't find the middle, you won't get a full U. You must find the middle. The dash line is the middle. No. The negative is the line is right there. Try again. What are you even doing? How are you doing it? You plugged it in?
Yeah. No, the first thing I did, I got -8 as y-intercept. But I took that as, and then I did the x equals b, -b over 2a, and then I got x equals -2. I just didn't really know where to put those.
You put them right in there. Put them right in the square part in the middle. You did that.
The -2 be the line that goes
Yeah.
up, and then the other one be the y-intercept.
Yeah.
And how did I get 4? Or when I put one in, I got 4. What is y equals 4?
Did you plug -2 in there?
I plugged -2 and then got y equals 4.
Oh, you did. That's the middle, then. That's the vertex. That's like the hump. Or the dip. That's where it turns.
So this is -8. If the
Let me
vertex
see. Let me do the math really quick.
if the vertex is 4,
So this is -3 times 4 plus 24 minus 3. Yep, 4. Okay. Yeah. You know what is skinny? It's like long and skinny.
so those two are on the same line.
There's a vertical stretch because of the green turn.
Then how do I find the midpoint?
That is the midpoint. The -2 4. It's called vertex zone.
So my vertex wouldn't just be 4, I mean -8.
No, that's your y.
Wrong. So my vertex wouldn't just be 4, it'd be -4. Okay.
got a question on their paper?
I have to minus negative 2 and then I put in negative. What'd you get to minus? What'd you get to minus?
For which one?
For the y intercept. This is the y intercept. This is the width.
The y-intercept's -8.
Okay, plug in negative 8. For the yeah, you plug in 0. When you no, you have to find the line. So then you have to plug in it into the 1, so it's x equals negative b over 2a. If you do that. Yeah, so then it would be x equals negative 12 into 2 over 2. I mean 2 times negative 2. So you got negative 2. So we put that is negative 2. But then we're just gonna get 4, aren't we? Because that's what the y is. So now, how do we find the other one? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Then you go and then so negative 2, so you go to like say like negative 3, and then you do like negative 1, and then you go and then you plug those in for x.
So I want those two x values there. It should be -3, -4.
Okay.
And then I also want 2 points on the other side.
So you basically just pick them. Yes. But make sure they're like that. To see how negative 2 is yeah. 1 away from negative 2. So then you need to pick points that have to be like yeah. So you can like so then you would plug that into this and then get y.
I'll show you. I'll do it right now.
Oh, I don't know.
You have a question?
So after
If your table is up. Charlie, have you done one? Have you done a point yet?
Yeah, I finished.
For number 2, what'd you get for -4?
-4, I got -8.
That's right, good job. Alright, -4. Thumbs up if you got -4, -8. Okay. Good job, you guys.
on the this is right so far.
Actually, -3 regardless. And okay. Let me show you mine. It's not as big. Active symmetries, right? And then the other two are -3.
Alex, sorry, what'd you get for -3?
A U shape. You don't go up.
Did you do it? You can just do it right now with me. What do you do first?
you get one?
Yeah.
Yeah, negative and one. I'm not gonna ruin my right too now. But you just need to word the question for each one. I mean, like, you almost have to do like negative one and then negative two. Because then they should give you the right answer. Because these should be the same. They should be opposites. Yeah. The one. No, they should be the same. And then if you want to check it to make sure the right, you need to use two. It just saves extra time. Yeah.
Oh, because they're both negative? They never go like straight up. Who else got one for -3? Maybe like 5, 6, 7 people.
Teachers, please pardon this interruption for a few afternoon announcements. Attention students. Oh, first I have two bus changes. Bus 1090 will ride 656 and 90 will ride 656. If you normally ride 656, you will split into your alternate buses. If you normally ride 656, you will split into your alternate buses. Attention students, voting for homecoming course has begun. Please log in through your Schoology grade group for directions. To vote, you must access your account via WebNet. The first round of voting will close this Thursday at noon. Juniors and seniors looking to take the ASVAB test. Sign up with the Salem Student Services. The test will be here on campus November 17th. If you have any more questions, please see Mr. Fernandez or Ms. Corbett. Test Plus information meeting is tomorrow in 36105. Beginners and experts are welcome. Juniors and seniors tutoring for the SAT, CSAT test October 13th is available after school in the Media Center Monday through Thursday. Preseason track conditioning will start Monday, October 11th at 3:15 on the track. Please see Coach Mark 3779 for more information. Thank you and have a great afternoon.
Sideways, okay.
Masters. Congratulations. Masters. Take care, Miss Little. I love Little.
I don't know what it is.
She's my favorite, I think. Or like second or third. She's my top.
There's no way. I don't.
Did you do the same thing I did? You did 4 times 2?